Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Pokémon Violet. In the last episode, we began our venture into the stories of Uva Academy, starting off with Penny, the leader of Team Star, and her tale of wanting to make sure the rest of her team transitions back into normal school life without any major hassles, which gave us a little insight into the new life each member of Team Star now lives, from the goofy way of making friends that Giacomo and Ortega came up with, to comedically get other students to no longer be scared of them, to catching up with Don Atticus and his compadre and their ninja excursions, Mella's want to become a art student, to learn how to further her passion for her fire-type Pokemon, and finally learning that Aerie started up her new and improved wrestling club within the school. Overall, a nice little wholesome story for Team Star, after everything they've been through before and during our adventures throughout Paldea. And honestly, it was really nice to see them transitioning back into school like pretty well and without any problems whatsoever. And also we got a little bit of insight into Penny and how well she lives, although it was very little, but we already knew a lot about Penny already. But the thing is we actually got to see what her like little room was like, and like her STEM class and all that. So it's actually pretty cool. But with that being said, we continue our Uva Academy stories today, or stories of Uva Academy as I like to call it. But we now begin our next one, because honestly, we have quite a little bit more to go. And the one I want to do today is going to be a different one than our main characters. I think what we should do today is let's look into one of the characters we met during the Ace Academy tournaments. And I think we should start with Miriam here, where students go if they're under the weather, though many of them may just want to talk to may just want to talk to Nurse Miriam. But the thing is we met her during our Ace Academy tournament, and she was a brand new character, because we didn't see her before. It was a character we didn't see during the intro to the game, so it's definitely pretty good to, catch up and see what's going on with her now after that Academy tournaments. So let's check out what's going on with Miriam here to start our adventure for today. And honestly, I'm quite curious, just because, when we fought her, she was a poison type user at the end of the day when she had her Toxapex, so I'm quite interested for why a nurse would have a Toxapex of all Pokemon. And also, I thought it was kind of funny, if you thought about it. She has a Hypno, as well as a Toxapex. Hypno being for, hypnotherapy. And I think, for me, when I think of Toxapex, I think of, old school, remedies where they would, do, poison, a venom from, a snake or something, in order to cure, venomous bites and stuff like that. You get an antidote via the venom of a Pokemon, and Toxapex is, venomous, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But, honestly, let's begin.
Hey there, come on in. Everyone's welcome to the nurse's office.
Well, hello Miriam. It's our first time really meeting face to face.
What brings you here today? I don't see anything super wrong with you, or your Pokemon.
Well, honestly, I was curious about you.
Wait, this is your first time here, isn't it?
That is indeed true. Literally our first time in this room. So, yep, that is true.
Cool, so I guess you transferred in recently.
Far from that. But I think she was available since the very beginning of the game, to be honest.
Oh, you must be Spooks, right? Everybody's been talking about you. I've heard all kinds of rumors. Apparently you fell off a cliff right after enrolling in the academy. You even picked a fight with Team Star.
That is true.
Oh yeah, you started your treasure hunt thing, right?
Actually, we completed it, to be completely fair.
Oh, come on, tell me about anything super interesting you find during your adventures. I'm kind of bored just sitting here all day, I don't have any classes to teach. And students only come here to skip class anyways.
That's funny. But probably true.
So yeah, drop by if you can. Deal?
Yeah, we can make it a deal. You became slightly closer with Nurse Miriam. I don't know why that was hard to say for a second. I was wanting to say Mirami, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Miriam. We said it right a bunch of times, but that was the first time I actually messed it up. I don't know why. But let's talk to her again. And based on Penny, there was 4 conversations, so I'm guessing there would be 4 for every character, I think. Well, let's continue.
Hey there. Come on in. Everyone's welcome to the nurse's office. Spooks, have you toughened up a bit?
Yes, I definitely have. I would like to think so.
Oh, so you know your tough stuff, huh? Oh, but seriously, you look a bit different.
Well, obviously. We've been through quite a lot.
I bet it's because of all these crazy experiences you're having on your treasure hunts. You need to tell me all about what you've been up to.
Okay, well, it's kind of hoping our character would let us say a couple things, but let's see her.
Oh, well, that's super cool. I sure am jealous of you kids. You get to try out new things every single day. Me, on the other hand, I actually wanted to become a teacher. I'm just the school nurse, you know. I can't teach classes or anything like that.
Technically, you could, because they could have a health class, to be honest. Because if we look at, like, Pokemon trainers from, like, the anime specifically, Brock ends up becoming a doctor. So, technically you could, honestly. She could have a class, if she really wanted to.
I couldn't pass a certification exam to become an actual health teacher.
Oh, well, she answered my question. I didn't even get to read her thing there, so that's her reason. Well, you can try again.
I took it so many times, but no luck, so here I am stuck forever in the nurse's office.
Well, that sucks. Well, at least you tried, but I would keep trying if I were you, to be honest, because if you give up early, you don't complete your goals, so might as well keep trying, right?
I'm sorry. I guess this isn't a very fun thing to talk about. But you're just such a good listener. I find myself telling all you kids all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty interesting little dialogue there. So she really wants to become a teacher. Huh. It's kind of unfortunate she wasn't able to become one, based on that certification exam. Wonder how hard it is. I know teaching could be pretty hard based on, like, students-wise, but I never knew how hard the schooling was to become a teacher, though. Because it would make sense it would be pretty hard, especially for health, because you would have to know all the inner workings of the body and stuff like that, and maybe even Pokemon, too, on top of that, if you live in the Pokemon universe. So you technically be, like, a vet as well as, like, a human health, like, teacher, which is kind of interesting.
I hope you still come to see me, even if I talk your ear off like this.
Yeah, of course. You became even closer with Nurse Miriam. I'm kind of getting more Persona vibes from this one than I did with Penny's. That's interesting. Let's continue.
Are you tired? Why not lie down and have a quick rest?
Quick rest? Sure. Can I sleep in the bed here? Oh, I can. Okay, then. I don't think it would end like that, to be honest, unless we're supposed to leave the room. Let's see her. Well, we got nice and healed. Let's see if she wants to talk again. Nope, she's not talking again. That's weird. I don't think it would end that quickly. Oh, here we go. Okay, we just had to leave the room. Okay, how that answers that. So we need to go to the entrance hall. So, like Penny, she is going to leave the room, which I was actually curious if she wasn't based on that first one. So maybe meeting her didn't count as one of the 4, maybe. Maybe this would be the second one, then. Okay, interesting. So now we're officially starting the second one, I believe. Huh, okay then.
Oh hey, Spooks. Sorry, were you looking for me? I've been away from the nurse's office lately.
Really? Why's that?
Did you need something from me?
Sure. I just wanted to see how you were doing.
Are your Pokemon hurt? Just a second.
Oh, okay. I guess you could say that. Well, I guess we could definitely use a little bit of a heal for a Pokemon.
Here you go. A little first aid. you must be really be having an adventure out there, judging by those scrapes and cuts.
Yeah, I think we definitely probably took a couple bumps, to be honest. So that would make a lot of sense.
Huh? Oh yeah, I guess it's pretty unusual for me to be out of the nurse's office like this.
Yeah, why are you out of the nurse's office?
Well, I'm actually doing a bit of studying.
Oh, she's actually gonna maybe try and do... Yep, she's gonna try it again. That's cool. So it's good that she actually continued with him. I wonder if she'll end up becoming a health teacher.
Well, I tried my best at the health teacher certification once more time.
That's pretty cool. Well, you can definitely do it. You put your mind to it, you'll definitely pass it this time.
Just so you know, it's totally not because I'm inspired by a certain somebody working hard. At their treasure hunt, okay?
Yeah, fair, I guess. We are the, top student of the Uva Academy, so I guess that is fair.
Well, maybe I am just a little bit. So you know, thanks. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I don't mind being an inspiration.
Uh-oh, my break time's almost over.
I guess you gotta go back to the nurse's office in a very, very short amount of time. Wait a minute. I just noticed something. Are those apples? Huh, that's weird. We were talking about this in a previous episode about, everything to do with, like, Mananza being, obviously, a word for apple in another language, and saying that apple could be a big tie to if there is, another story to Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, like a third story, or technically it would be a second story in a way, but everything to do with that disc Pokemon, and if there is another story, that being the legendary of that story, apples are a very interesting fruit to grow inside here. And I don't know why I'm just noticing it now that there is that here. That's weird. That's a very interesting thing. There's a lot of ties to apples everywhere, is something I'm noticing. I wonder why. I don't know if it's for sure a thing that's going to happen, but if there is a DLC for this game, it's probably very much going to be the Mananza thing that was part of Rika's little test for, going into the championship challenge for the Elite Four in the little, certification exam before you go straight into the Elite Four and everything. That's pretty cool, though. Huh. That is very interesting, though, because normally you don't, have apple trees just growing on the inside of a school, or even a house in general. So that's very interesting to have inside the school. But let's continue, though.
I know you'll be cheering me on, Spooks.
Of course. You feel trusted by Nurse Miriam. Well, obviously, I can understand that one. So it looks like Nurse Miriam's progression is just by playing the game and going through the story. So it looks like we'll be perfectly, easily able to go through. Let's see her. Okay, she's just repeating herself. I thought she was going to say something different. I was about to read out her dialogue there, noticed it was exactly the same. Let's see where she headed to this time. It looks like the people stick to rooms inside the school, though. And then some of the teachers are tied to the classes. So we have to take their class to unlock them, is what my understanding is. Because we don't see Saguaro, Time, or a couple other of the teachers on that list. And we don't even see Jacques, technically, either. So, very interesting, just to be completely honest. But, let's definitely continue Miriam here. See what her next little story is.
Hey there, come on in. Everyone's welcome in the nurse's office. Oh, Spooks, I'm glad you're here.
Well, that's good to hear.
I have some good news. You're not gonna believe this, but I passed the health teacher certification exam.
Well, congratulations. That's pretty cool. Passed it all in one day. You're supposed to do this over the story. I'm 100% on that. But that's pretty cool, though.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I saw you pushing yourself real hard with your treasure hunt, and that really inspired me.
Well, that's good to hear.
Of course, most of the credit for my success goes to my own hard work, though.
Well, Well, obviously, you did do a decent amount of studying based on what you were saying, and you said you took the test multiple times, so you must have did some really heavy studying if you were able to, pass the test this time.
Thanks for giving me the push I needed to try again, Spooks.
No problem. Oh, 10 max revives. I'll definitely take those. That's actually really nice. I don't think you could buy those. I know you can buy revives, but max revives you have to find out in the wild, so that's actually really nice. Thank you.
But they tell me there's no room to add any new classes this year.
Fair enough. They did just begin the treasure hunt, so they're halfway into the school year based on what we understand. So, once you wait for the other half, you'll obviously have enough time to, become a teacher. I wonder if Monanza, well, technically it would be a different school if Monanza is a thing. Would she be a teacher in the Monanza thing? That's a good question. I wonder. Or would, if it is a whole different story, could it also be that Time is in the place where Rhyme is? Because Time used to be the gym leader for Mutt and Navera. So, and we know she's a Rock-type leader based on the fact of all of her Pokemon being Rock-type. So I'm wondering if Time would be the gym leader if it is a whole different story with a whole new gym leader challenge and everything. Because I don't know if it's going to be like an Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon where there's like a second story, or if it's going to be a DLC or what's going on, or if it's a mystery gift for some things. I don't honestly know, but it looks like it's going to be interesting nonetheless. Let's finish up with this with Miriam right here real quick, because I'm not sure if we're done or if we're still going.
So I guess I'll keep being Nurse Miriam for a bit.
Well, at least you know what you want to do.
Just you wait though. I'll be standing in front of the class at this academy before you know it.
That's good to hear. I wonder who the new nurse is going to be after Miriam becomes a teacher, unless she still gets to keep the nurse part of her job.
Then I'll teach you all you need to know about health. I bet I'll make a great teacher. I can't wait to see you in my class.
Well, can't wait to check out your class as well, if that's a possibility in the future. You formed a close bond with Nurse Miriam. Well, we definitely did. That was pretty cool. Let's see her. Talk to her one more time.
Okay, Spooks. Don't work too hard out there. Rest is important too.
Well, she said something different that time. Let's see her. Are we done with Miriam? Because I'm not sure. It looks like we are done, maybe. Let's go to the entrance hall real quick, just to double check. So, because based on the bubbles not showing up, that seems to be the indication that you are done with somebody. So let's double check by obviously leaving and then seeing if she pops up again, just to be sure, because we want to make sure. And all the explanation marks are obviously the ones we can do at the current moments. Okay, it looks like that is Miriam's story. Okay then, that was pretty short and sweet and to the point. I guess we could have done that one after Penny in the last episode, but I wasn't sure if there was any like short stories like that, because Penny's ended up being pretty decently long. But, you know what, because we do have extra time, obviously, because that didn't take too long at all, I guess we'll do another story. We'll do Director Clavell, and obviously in the director's office. Let's see what's going on with his little academy story, because we met him throughout our main story, but I'm quite curious what his academy story would be, just in general. So let's see what's going on with good old Director Clavell.
Oh, why, hello, Master Spooks. How is your treasure hunt coming along? Having all sorts of fun adventures, I hope.
Yeah, it's been great. It's not going so well. Yeah, it's definitely been pretty great. I didn't have any downsides to my adventure.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. Do keep in mind that the treasure hunt has no set course or criteria you must follow.
Sure, there's a hidden one, with level caps and stuff like that, because if you do certain things, you'll be way too over-leveled if you do it in any order you want, to be completely honest, or you'll be too under-leveled. So, they really shouldn't say that, but it makes sense because it's an open world game, but you really should have like an idea of the levels of certain areas. Because I had to, for most of the game, I had to guess, and then later down, once we got to about Rhymish or Larry, I'm trying to remember exactly when, because it's been a while since then, but then we actually had to go to a guide of where to go, a non-spoiler guide, mind you, to know the idea of the level area, as well as where to go next. So, although we didn't fully follow it, because we ended up doing the final Titan a little earlier than we were supposed to, and we ended up doing it pretty well, because it was a level 55 and we did it at like level 50. But, honestly, yeah, it was very, very helpful to have that for the ending areas, because we started running out of areas to know where to go, because I wanted to do everything about the same level of what we were supposed to do it at, or if we can do it, and it's a higher level thing, I would try it, like we did with the Titan, but honestly, yeah, definitely think it would have been nicer to know, like, in parentheses in certain areas, like, 1 to 10 this location, or something like that. Like, if you want to go here, and you want to do it in a normal setting, you have the option to. I think they should maybe wrote that down at least, just in case. But, honestly, I think it would have been better to have, level scaling up to a certain points for certain areas too, which would have maybe made it a little bit better in certain areas if you were over leveled. So if you beat like a gym, the next gym you'll do is like obviously like level 20, where it would be gym number 2 in your adventure, and then so on and so forth till you get to the final one, and they'll be basically level of obviously what the 8th gym would be, so any order would change the gym's levels and stuff like that. I think that would have been pretty cool too, but honestly, it worked out pretty well the way we did it, and we had a lot of fun. So I'm just bringing up ideas of how it could have been a little better executed, and maybe my ideas wouldn't have worked, you never know. But let's continue with Clavell here.
Simply go where your heart takes you, and you shall do splendidly.
That is true.
Speaking of such pursuits, there has been something on my mind of late. If I could ask you your expertise on the matter, I would be most grateful.
Okay, what do you have to ask me?
You see, I recently heard a word whose meaning escapes me. I believe it has some sort of slang.
Okay, some sort of slang.
Tell me, what does shoogi mean?
Shoogi. Well, something super cool doesn't make sense, from what I can kind of see here. I don't think they would be talking about gumballs, because I haven't really seen anybody, chewing gum. Maybe the middle option? Being outdated and uncool, maybe. Let's try it.
I think I understand for both speaker and recipient. It's not a pleasant word, I take. The words used by young people these days are quite often beyond my comprehension. But when I learn the meaning behind the words, I find that I feel that much closer to my students.
Which is a good thing for a director, so he knows what's really going on with his school, because he didn't even know about the bullying before he, became the director, and there was no bullying anymore when he became director, because it wasn't around anymore. Because obviously Team Star scared off all the bullies, so he had no idea about any of it. So that whole story kind of got him to understand that maybe the school is not exactly how it seems, and if he hears rumors, they may not be entirely true. So it's definitely an interesting insight to see. Apparently we can help him even further in the school, based on kind of helping them understand some of the words that some of the students are using as what would be lol or YOLO or stuff in our universe. But Shugi, that's an interesting one. Huh.
I'm most grateful to you for your help on that front.
No problem. Director Clavell. We definitely don't mind helping you out, because you're a fun character for sure. You became slightly closer with Director Clavell. I wonder what his next one would be. Let's see here. Let's try again. And see if it instantly starts another one.
Master Spooks, how kind of you to stop by. I must say I'm pleased to see you on school grounds again. Travel and adventure certainly have their place, but it does one good to attend class as well, though. Speaking of which, there is something I would very much like to ask of you.
What's that, Clavell?
I understand you have joined a variety of classes during your time here at the Academy.
Not a single one. But let's be honest here, there was a time skip in between us joining the Academy and us starting the treasure hunt. So, honestly, our Spooks here probably did take a couple classes in between there. So, although I say we haven't done any, technically he has. But we technically haven't, to be completely honest. On the third one, obviously, breaking the fourth wall there, but yeah, let's be honest here, we haven't at all.
But if I may ask, which of your faculty members has made the most favorable impression on you?
Mr. Jacques, Time, Rayfort, Salvatore, Dendra, Hazel, Saguaro, Miriam, Director Clavell. Obvious Director Clavell. That's definitely you, buddy. You were the biggest part of our story.
Me? Are you quite sure?
Yep, I'm pretty sure on that one. Hazel would definitely be second, and Saguaro seems pretty interesting, but we haven't talked to him yet. But we had like a battle with him, and he seemed pretty, you know, like unique. I definitely liked his like style for sure. But yeah, Director Clavell out of the teachers / staff for sure.
I suspect some element of diplomacy may be at work here, but if that is indeed how you feel, then I am most happy to hear it.
And it is indeed true, buddy.
We are truly blessed to have so many wonderful teachers and staff members at Uva Academy. I firmly believe that our faculty is second to none in their commitment to all students' ongoing education and well-being. Thank you so very much for sharing your thoughts with me, Master Spooks.
No problem, Director Clavell. I don't mind getting to know you and kind of figuring out some of your little hidden dialogues here, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people kind of miss this stuff. So I don't mind doing this for you guys and, checking the kind of what would be like hidden lore of the game. Because usually people play the main game and then it's over. Or maybe they'll do the legendaries and stuff like that. I don't mind doing this. Maybe you'd see this on a stream, maybe. But honestly, I'm very curious to see, further into the characters and stuff like that we didn't really get to meet. Because technically some of these you do earlier in the game, but we didn't really have time in the main game to do any of this. Because obviously we're going to be playing Pokemon in the beginning of the game and, going through the adventures and stuff like that. So now we can kind of sit back, relax, and kind of understand the people around us now, instead of worrying about Pokemon, because, well, our only main thing we have to do with Pokemon after this is the legendaries, being the 4 gated ones. We still don't know if it's 4, I'm pretty sure it's 4, and then Gimme Goals Evolution when we finally get 999 coins. And obviously, I'll try and get those coins ready for you guys when we eventually do it, because that'll be in the legendary episode, I'm pretty sure. But you became even closer with Director Clavell. Would make a lot of sense. We did say he was our favorite. And let's see, it looks like it is in this room again.
Thank you for your visit, Master Spooks.
No problem, Director Clavell.
A good friend of mine has been telling me of your recent exploits.
A good friend? You mean Clive? Do you mean Clive? my favorite student at the Academy, totally not the director.
I'll leave their identity to your imagination. But now, lest I forget, there is another matter I would very much like your opinion on.
What's that?
Do you know what manner of gentleman's hairstyle is considered cool, as it were, among the youth these days?
Short styles, 2-block cuts. I have no clue what a 2-block cut is. Definitely not a bolt cut. Long locks, giant pompadours. We could say giant pompadours and just be a joke with the Clive character. You know what? Everyone loves a giant pompadour, that's for sure. You were definitely right on that one.
Oh, pompadours, you say? I suspected as much.
So that's why he's a pompadour. I'm sorry, I was wondering why Clive had a pompadour, and that's what he thought was cool. That's funny. I like this. I like this a lot, because now we get a little bit more insight into Clive, and it makes a little bit more sense now. Huh. Okay then.
Though I don't seem to recall many of the Academy male students sporting such a style. Could it be, then, that the pompadour has already had its day in the sun? Perhaps I ought to consider a change of wig.
Nah, man, pompadours are the best. Especially Clive's one. You should definitely keep it going.
That is to say. Never mind. Thank you for your insight, Master Spooks. It was most enlightening.
Honestly, longer hair is popular. For me specifically, obviously longer hair, but based on my character in-game and my character here. But, let's be honest here, it's very popular among the newer kids is longer hair nowadays. And then some kids, like shortcuts, like not like the army cut, but kind of like army cut with the little bit of like, spiking in the top. That's also another one. But definitely longer hair in that, I would think, to be completely honest. But you feel trusted by Director Clavell. I would hope so. After everything we've been through, I'm surprised we're not, like, best friends at this point. But it looks like all of his is in the office here.
Thank you again for your outstanding work on Operation Starfall. I cannot tell you how relieved I am that we were able to help Miss Penny as we did. And I know she's exceedingly grateful to you for your part in all of this.
I would definitely think so.
So I have one more thing to ask of you, though. The request is admittedly of a delicate nature. Do you think you could continue being good friends with Miss Penny as you have thus far?
You bet. Sure, we're best friends. Yeah, we're definitely best friends. I would think so at this point. Through the Way Home storyline, through everything we did with Team Star. Honestly, we thought Cassiopeia was a bad character, like a villain, and there really wasn't a villain in this game, which is very interesting. You could count Toro as one, or Seda, but the thing is that wasn't really a villain character. It was more of like, protection protocol just in case someone that was there while he was around or she was around were to try and destroy the time machine before he or she would finish their research on it. And then, eventually make their way to the future or the past, depending on the professor. But, yeah, definitely there was no villain, and that was quite interesting, and a new take on a Pokemon game, for sure, because there's always been a villain in these games, and I'm surprised there wasn't one. I'm very surprised on that. But, let's continue.
I must say I'm truly I'm glad to have you as one of my students at the Academy. I believe you're more than earned this small token of my appreciation.
Obtained a big nugget. I'll definitely take that. That's 20k in the bank right there. Thanks, Clavell. Thanks. Yeah, or should I say Clive?
I hope that you will always stay just as wonderful as you are now, Master Spooks.
Well, that was pretty good. You formed a close bond with Director Clavell. So I'm guessing when it says that you formed a close bond, you're done with it. So we'll try again. We'll see if he says anything.
I'm so glad that you came to Uva Academy, Master Spooks.
Thanks, Clavell. And then we'll double check and see if he has a bubble. So if it says that, it means we're done. Got it. Okay. Well, we have Nemona and we have Arven. These ones might take as long as Penny, so we need to be careful with them. I think they would be more of one that we would have to do if we were doing, like Penny's episode, we did something extra afterwards. So, I guess we go to the entrance hall then, and see what we can do from here. Because we might be able to still do one more thing. I'll try and think of something real quick. Obviously, it might come down to starting one of these classes, maybe? That's what I can kind of think. But the thing is, how would we do it? Which one was... Sagawara was the home economics teacher, I think. Let's try and go there and see what happens. You'd like home economics with Mr. Sagawara? Yes, I would. And let's see how that goes, because we've never done a class before. Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. And also, I think this is a way to meet the teachers, too. So, definitely, it's worth trying to do, just in case. So let's see here. Mr. Sagawara's home economics teacher. Oh, and Arven's here.
I see we have some energetic young ones in our class this time round.
You can definitely say that one.
You may call me Mr. Sagawara. Your time here with me will be spent obtaining knowledge and skills indispensable for daily life. Many of you have left the care of your parents to live here on your own in the Academy's dormitories. I pray that knowledge I impart on you will improve the quality of your lives and the necessities thereof: food, clothing, and shelter.
Okay, well, that's nice to hear.
Of those three categories, I assume the most pressing and interesting for all of you is food.
Yeah, food's pretty good.
When you eat sandwiches on your picnics, the HP of your party Pokemon will be restored.
Really? I didn't know that.
You also gain something called meal powers, which can provide all manners of benefits.
What should we know about that one?
For example, these powers can make Pokemon easier to catch or increase the EXP points that your Pokemon receive.
Okay then. Well, we already knew that one, but I guess it's good to know.
I think you will also find that the breadth of these effects can be expanded by crafting sandwiches of superb flavor. Once more, there is a certain something that is particularly important if we wish to receive meal powers with even more helpful effects.
Okay then.
Let me see, Master Spooks. Tell me, what must you keep in mind to receive even more helpful meal powers?
My choice of fillings and condiments, how fast I can prepare the food. I have to remember to put my heart into it. My choice of fillings and condiments sounds right to me.
Perfectly correct, Master Spooks. Perhaps you have already been aware of the fact from having helped your family with cooking at home.
Well, I am a chef myself at home, to be honest, so I went to culinary school for a reason, so that says anything. Mostly, to, do better at my own cooking, not for other people. But the thing is, honestly, I was gonna become kind of like a butler, kind of like cook for one person and not go into a chef business, going into a restaurant. I want to do my own thing and just be I prepare food for people, and it's quality food, pretty much. So that was kind of my idea for a while, and then I got back into... Obviously, I didn't have a fun time with my school when it came to that, and then, I got out of that, and then I started doing regular school again, and, well, I'm almost to my bachelor's for, starting my bachelor program for, graphic design and stuff like that, so... Honestly, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Hopefully, I could do more of this than, whatever ends up happening with that, but if I could do this, I would do it, is what I'm trying to say. Because then I can, I feel more comfortable doing this, because I have a lot of fun with this. If I could do this all the time, and not have to worry about something else, that would be really cool, but honestly, I don't know what the future holds, but... if it happens, it happens, right? And if it doesn't happen, then it's just what happens, right? But Would be cool, though, nonetheless. Let's continue with Sagawaru here.
Your choice of ingredients, including both fillings and condiments, is an important factor in gaining even more helpful meal powers. For example, using sweet ingredients in your sandwiches may help you gain egg power.
Okay.
Including numerous bitter ingredients, on the other hand, can gain you item drop power. Learning to aim for specific effects when crafting sandwiches will almost certainly make your culinary endeavors more enjoyable. Please be aware, however, that you can also receive meal powers by eating at restaurants.
Which makes sense. Cool. Well, nice to know. Thanks, Mr. Sagawaru.
I must say that I would feel the utmost joy if you all learned much here in my class and came to better understand home economics. Our time together has come to an end. For today, I bid you all farewell.
Well, honestly, nice to meet you, Sagawaru. So now that we officially met him by taking his class, I think we can proceed with the story. Let's see. See if he shows up on the map now. Unless we have to do his class to get further with him. Oh no, here we go. Here he is. So now we can go into the home economics class and actually get to meet him. So let's see here. I wonder what his story is going to be. Just because I'm quite curious. Oh. What did I just click? Oh no, I clicked him. Okay, I was wondering if I clicked the board or him there for a second.
Welcome to the home economics classroom. Consider this to be my very own castle of sorts.
That's good to hear. Well, your home is your castle.
Master Spooks from Class 1A.
Yep, that is definitely me.
Rumors of your activities always have seemed to be bombarding for me from all sides.
My activities? Yeah, what kind of activities you mean? You mean my treasure hunt?
Indeed. People from all over have been talking about how strong of a battler you are, and the amazing Pokemon you take along with you. You are quite the object of everyone's interest, though I imagine that may be a bother for you.
Not that much, but nice to see the other students look up to us, though.
The home economics classroom is something of a place of rest for the Academy students to see. Here the delight in sharing the latest gossip, the like while enjoying a little snack.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You come up quite often in those talks recently, Master Spooks, so much so that I find myself intrigued.
So that's how Miriam found out about us. That's interesting. So now we know how, like, gossip is spreading about us, but it's good gossip, which is good to hear. But it's good to hear that, we have some good gossip going around.
If it's not a burden of you, I would very much enjoy having you come and see me again sometime.
Of course, you became slightly closer with Mr. Sagawaru. I was definitely right on my judgment. I'm already liking him. But let's see here.
Please feel free to relax and unwind if you wish. No need to concern yourself with me.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm not sure if we have to do all of his classes, because it said 1. So I'm guessing... Yeah, it looks like we have to do all of his classes, it looks like. Oh, okay. So his might be a little longer than I thought it would be. Okay, so... characters with classes might take up a little bit more time. Got it. Since I wasn't too sure on that one. Good to know, just in case. Let's see here. I'd like to go to Home Economics number 2. You'd like to go to Home Economics with Mr. Sagawaru. Sagawaru. Yes, I would. Of course I would. Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. We'll try. I don't know how many classes there are, though. So... might need to look into that. But maybe we'll get an idea with Mr. Sagawaru here. In case of how many... like, as an example for later.
Put away your phones, it's time to be in class. In our last class, I believe we talked about the effects you can get from food on your picnics.
Yep, that is indeed what it was.
You can receive meal powers, even restore HP for all the Pokemon in your party. It is a truly convenient means of healing your Pokemon.
and that is indeed true. Which I'm actually very surprised that picnics heal your Pokemon. I didn't even know that.
Unfortunately, as I am sure you are aware, it's not suited for use in battles when you cannot make food, or when you wish to restore HP quickly. In times such as those, you should make use of healing items such as potions, which you can purchase from the Pokémon or the school store.
Which we found out about just recently about the school store.
Healing items are immediately effective and can be used anytime that you can open your bag. They are, however, consumed after one use. Potions restore 20 HP, super potions restore 60, and hyper potions restore 120.
Okay. I already knew that. So there's a couple hints for like newer players in here, which is nice.
The pricier the item, the more HP it will restore. Keep in mind how much money you have when you are stocking up on these items.
Which is also a good thing to do, stocking up on items.
However, unforeseen happenings are an inextricable part of traveling from place to place. Imagine, if you will, the following scenario. You find yourself with injured Pokemon, and you have no potions, you're out of sandwich ingredients, and there are no Pokemon centers nearby.
Okay.
Tell me, Master Spooks, what should you search for when in a perilous situation with no way to heal your Pokemon?
Place with water, a teacher, items on the ground. Well, in the one area, when we went to Area 0, in the running water area, there was fresh water. But I don't know if it's going to say that. Items on the ground is a very good one. Items on the ground? Oh, we got it right. Okay, I was thinking it could be the water one because water heals you. So, I guess that wasn't it. Good thing I didn't go for that one.
Perfectly correct, Master Spooks. I see you are well-learned in survival techniques.
Normally that would be water, and that would be a trick question in that case, because we did see water in a running stream in Area 0, so I guess that wasn't the option, but you could get mixed up there for sure, like I just did.
If you see something shiny on the ground, it is actually an item that has been dropped there. You may be able to find a restorative item, such as an orange berry, or a potion, in this way.
Or max revives.
You can use the R button to send out your Pokemon to pick up such items as well.
Which is true, but not as effective, because you might accidentally knock out Pokemon, which, if you're like me and you don't want to raise EVs, or trying to remember which one's which, but if you don't want to raise your battle, like EV, IVs, for that, I'm trying to remember, individual values I believe is the breeding one, well, effort values, so I've been seeing it right. You don't want to raise your effort values if you have Pokemon that you're planning to use willy-nilly, because then you have to use special berries to lower the exact stat that you accidentally gained later in your adventure. So, yeah, there can definitely be a little bit of a problem by doing that, because you might accidentally attack Pokemon. But the thing is we're at the max part for EVs for our Pokemon at the current moment, so we don't have to really worry about that. And if you guys are wondering what EVs are, think of 252 stats. For you get 252 in one of HP attack, special defense, defense, and speed. And then you can put another 252 into another. Then you get 4 for another. So 252 divided by 4 is the extra stats that you get for the 252 for 2 stats. And then the 4 would be only 1. So basically +1 plus your extra stats for the 252s. And that's basically how EVs work. So if you want a lot of attack, put 252 attack in. And that's pretty easy, just use the proteins or fight a Pokemon that gives you the stat for attack, basically. While holding the specific power item for it, because there's like anklets and stuff like that that can boost it as well. Or you can just go the easy way and, throw some proteins in and get some free attack that way. But definitely, yeah, it's definitely a little confusing if it's your first time hearing about it, for sure. Because it took me a little bit to understand it my first time of looking into it, and that was back in Sun and Moon, I believe, was when I first started doing all that. But, or it could be X and Y, I think it was X and Y, actually. But, it was, pretty interesting, though. Actually, no, wait, no, I think it was Omega... I'm not sure, is X and Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? But, that's kind of getting off topic, but... honestly, yeah, it's pretty crazy, for sure. But let's continue.
And then there are berries, of course. Berries, by the way, aren't like items from shops. If you let your Pokemon hold one, it will decide on its own when to eat the berry during battle. Letting your Pokemon decide this timing for itself can be quite interesting.
Specifically, citrus berries is a really good one. So you could use, like, Belly Drum, gain max stats and attack, and then heal a little bit based on the citrus berry. It can definitely come in handy.
At any rate, if you find yourself in need of healing, I suggest that you look around for shining items on the ground.
Okay, we can easily do that.
If you can't find such items, there are other methods you must employ for healing your... but I see the bell demands that topic to wait. All time together has come to an end for today. I bid you all farewell.
See you later, Sagawario. So I think what we'll do is we'll do all the classes first, and then do the stories for them. Because it looks like the classes are tied to unlocking further stories. And let's double check that real quick. Because if we see number 3 open there, and if we go to Home Ec... oh, wait. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Unless maybe he doesn't have one for a second unlock. I'm not sure. But, Home Economics number 3. You'd like to go to Home Ec with Mr. Sagawario? Yes, indeed. So take us on over there. Class will begin shortly. Don't be tardy. Definitely try not to be. It would be very hard to be tardy if, we're actually ready to take classes. And I like how Arven's actually in the classes, trying to actually get his grade up, which is pretty good.
Put away your phones, it's time to begin class. In my last class I taught you about HP restoration. However, after class I was asked by several of you about power points, commonly known as PP.
Yep, that's definitely a good one to ask.
When a Pokemon loses all of its HP it faints, you can no longer battle. What happens when it loses all of its power points?
Can't use moves, it won't listen to its trainer, all of its stats get lowered. Definitely not the 2 on the bottom, it can't use moves. That's an easy one.
Perfectly correct, Master Spooks. Perhaps you knew this from first-hand experience.
That is for sure, but not from this game. I can definitely tell you that one. That was all the way back in Sapphire, my original first Pokemon game.
When a Pokemon runs out of power points, it can no longer use all of its moves.
Or use its moves in certain areas, I should say.
However, each move has its own store of power points, so you can mitigate power point loss by using a variety of moves rather than just one move repeatedly. If all Pokemon loses all power points for all of its moves, you will only be able to use Struggle, an action that also damages the Pokemon that uses it.
Greatly damages the Pokemon that uses it, because the recoil action really hurts your Pokemon, unlike a normal recoil.
In order to avoid the predicament, power points can be restored at a Pokemon Center, along with HP.
Or with, obviously, like ethers and stuff like that. Oh, Buddy's bringing that up.
Items such as ethers and max ethers can also be used to restore power points. Be careful not to confuse potions with ethers in the heat of battle. However, ethers are not sold at shops, so you should use them judiciously if you ever find them.
Which is pretty easy to find them in this game, if you look in the grasses. Because they're the shining items that he was bringing up earlier.
The stronger the move, the lower its maximum power points. Do not waste uses of these moves, unless you wish to quickly run out of power points. It is important to find balance in a Pokemon Center moves. As you can see, HP isn't the only thing you must keep an eye on when adventuring with Pokemon. I hope that you all can take care to ensure your Pokemon can perform at their best as you each engage in the treasure hunt.
Okay. Well, thanks, Sagawaro. It's good information for newer players, for sure. But, also, you know, some of it I didn't know before, like the picnic thing, because that was something I didn't really do. So, there's some pretty good information here to look into.
Our time together has come to an end for today. Our next meeting will be an examination day. Be sure to review well in preparation.
I don't know why that was hard to say for a second. But, okay, so examination day. Okay. What do you mean by examination? Is it actually going to be a test? Because I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Let me see if his thing opened up again. Nope. Maybe you have to do all the classes then. I'm not really sure. Interesting. Well, home economic midterms. Let's try it. Would you like to, like home economic with Mr. Sagawaro? I believe so. Is this going to be a story one, or is this going to actually be an exam? Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. Okay. Well, let's see what we're getting ourselves into. Because I'm quite interested on whatever this could be. Okay then. Well, so far it looks like it's going to be a story.
The time has come to test how well you have all learned here in my class. Let's begin with a full information simmering in your brain from a last-minute cram session fails.
Okay. Which is not an effect of a picnic meal? HP restoration, curing poison, increasing speed, gaining meal powers. What would be increasing speed in this case? Because if you heal your Pokemon, you're going to cure its status effects. So increasing speed. Okay. Which of the following affects the kinds of meal powers received from a particular meal? Fillings and condiments, number of people eating, the color of utensils. Color of utensils. Well, obviously, fillings and condiments. We knew that one already. Which of these berries can restore a Pokemon's HP? It would be the Oran Berry. Leandra wanted his Pokemon to decide on its own when to use an item in battle, so he gave it an Oran Berry. This will work as he hopes. True. Because that's definitely good. If a move runs out of power points, it can no longer be used. If a Pokemon runs out of power points for all of its moves, it can only sit there in frustration. False. Okay, so how do we do?
The time for answering questions has come to an end. Please stop writing. I hope you were all able to give the examination everything you had. Please remember to ask us for your scores at the front desk before leaving for the day.
Okay. Well, I would think I would get 100% for that, but the thing is I really didn't do the picnic stuff. But I would think if you're healing your Pokemon, you would heal your statuses. It feels great to get a test out of the way, doesn't it? Let's take a look at your results. You get 3 questions correct to pass your midterm exams, 4 questions to pass your final exams. Let's see how you did on your home economics test. Okay. You answered 5 out of 5 correctly. Cool, I got 100%. I wasn't really sure on the picnic one, but the other ones were easy. That's a passing score, congratulations. Also, as well as being, on the principal's list too, because getting an A is very good in a class. But, cool, I'll take it. Mr. Sagawaro asked us to give you this reward to any students who pass the exam. Ooh, some EXP candies. Not a lot, but something. Keep doing your best. Okay. Interesting. Well, the thing is I don't know how many classes these are, so I guess we'll have to save the rest for later, just because, I thought we were going to be able to do a little bit more, but you know what, we'll put him at the halfway mark for now, because we got to know him, we got to learn him, understand him, but interesting though. Definitely interesting. So, I think what we'll do, obviously, is we're obviously going to do the classes first, and then worry about any kind of stories attached to the characters, because I think we have to finish the classes in order to progress their story. So, with that being said, thank you all watching today's episode. It's been a blast hanging out with you guys, it always is, And honestly, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep being spooky. In the next episode, we will be continuing with Mr. Sagawaru, and maybe getting into one of the other storylines. I'm not really sure, but we're definitely going to continue with Sagawaru, for sure. Because, we left it at the halfway mark. I just wasn't sure how long it was going to be. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep being spooky, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.